Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Beyond Access series. Tonight, we're here with our instructional team, and they're going to be talking to us about reading strategies for parents. We know that a lot of you have had questions around literacy, especially because during summer school, there's going to be a particular focus on literacy. So we're really excited to be here and share these resources with you all. Tonight, I have with me Peter DeNovo, who joins us again, and Holly Bowers, who also joins us, monitoring the Q&A. As every night, if you have questions, we're going to be answering questions around literacy tonight, so drop them into the Q&A function. If you have any other types of questions, you can feel free to use the Q&A function, but please put in your email and or phone number so that someone from the team could get back to you afterwards. We're going to, you feel free to ask your questions throughout the presentation, and then towards the end, we're going to go back and look at the chat and answer some of those over the live. But let's get into what you are all here for today, the presentation. Tonight, our presenter is the amazing Mary Wing, the Director of Literacy Interventions on our instructional team in the Special Education Office. So, Mary, welcome and take it away.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for some interesting strategies that I hope you may find useful. Welcome parents and families to this presentation on reading strategies that can be used at home. So as you can see in the triangle, you were collaborators in a very difficult time. And it was so important to have our parents link our children with our teachers. And you did an amazing job. The most important goal for all was to transition to remote learning, which was very difficult. You have made remote learning in New York City a success. I'm always amazed at the dedication of our busy families to support their kids. But let's make it fun. Here's some information about how and why parents and family members can work with their child on reading every day. During shared book reading, children learn to recognize letters, understand that print represents the spoken word, and learn how to hold the book, turn the page, and start at the beginning. These emergent literacy skills are important for later success in reading. Why should parents read to their child? Shared reading is being read to and sharing reading with your child. Research has typically found that shared reading experiences are highly beneficial for young people. Benefits of shared reading include facilitating enriched language exposure, fostering the development of listening skills, spelling, reading comprehension, vocabulary, and essential foundational literacy skills. Reading aloud to children or shared book reading has been linked to young children's emergent literacy ability. This can be defined as the skills or knowledge that children develop before learning the more conventional skills of reading and writing, which affect children's later success in reading. The benefits of reading aloud was researched by a group at NYU. They provided evidence of just how sustained an impact reading and playing with young children can have, shaping their social and emotional development in ways that go far beyond helping them learn language and early literacy skills. Other benefits include improving sustained attention and decrease in problematic behaviors. The parent-child book movement even has the potential to help curb problem behaviors like aggression, hyperactivity, and difficulty with attention, the NYU study has found. The reduction in hyperactivity is a reduction in meeting clinical levels of hyperactivity, says Dr. Mendelson from NYU. We may be helping some children so they don't need to have certain kinds of evaluations. So what if my child knows how to read? Reading books aloud to children stimulates their imaginations and stimulates their understanding of the world. It helps them develop language and listening skills and prepares them to understand the written word. Even after children learn to read by themselves, it's still important for you to read aloud together. Some research says that you can stop reading when kids are in the 8th grade, but some 8th graders miss being read to by their parents. You can easily transition to reading together. Read different parts, one for you and one for your children. Now we're going to look at 10 ways for parents to encourage your child to read, which involves talking, singing, reading, writing, and playing. Number 1, develop children's oral language. Depending on the child's language skill level, give them a story to read out loud or have a story read to them. When the story is finished, ask your child to pinpoint favorite parts of the story. This can enable children to have fun picking out words and develop an interest to move to the next page. Dialogic reading is essentially engaging in a conversation with young children as you read to them. This provides positive effects, including improved language skills, literacy, and school readiness. Ask them questions. Model for them. I like this story about Clifford because I love dogs. Did you like this story? Why? Or why not? Work on their expressive language. Have them just talking about anything. Number 2, read several stories every day. The more children are exposed to literature, the more reading will become part of their daily life. This helps to establish positive attitudes toward reading and reading habits. A child is introduced to new information, concepts, and phonemic awareness with every story. Read different types of stories. You could start with nursery rhymes, then series books like Dr. Seuss. Read funny stories, silly stories, cultural stories, mysteries, and adventures. And the list goes on and on. Establish a routine with your children to have daily reading times together. Surround your children with reading materials. Children with a large collection of reading resources in their homes score higher and perform better on standardized tests. Encourage a reading habit in your child by having a large array of interesting books, magazines, and comic books, anything that they enjoy at their reading level. Rotate the variety of books they have and challenge them to read higher level books. Harry Potter books were a phenomenon that so many children were able to relate to. This book series, as challenging as it was, everybody wanted to read it. Encourage a wide variety of reading activities. Make reading an essential part of your children's lives. Let children read menus, movie names, roadside signs, game guides, weather reports, and other practical everyday information. Always try to make sure your children have something to read in their spare time. Make reading time the best time of the day and make it fun. You as parents are the greatest motivators for your children. So model daily reading for them. You can be reading newspapers, magazines, books, anything and everything. Let them see you reading. These reading activities become teachable moments, and children will also be encouraged to engage in a dialogue. Technology, as we all know after these 4 months, can increase self-esteem. Technology is changing the way we all learn, and it can have a positive impact on kids and their reading. Building self-esteem through applied technology and increased reading skills can have a positive ripple effect on every other area of a student's life. Technology also gives kids who have grown up in an age of smartphones and ubiquitous computers another outlet with which they are familiar to grow and learn. The child is actively making choices about how to generate, obtain, manipulate, or display information. Technology use allows many more kids to be actively thinking about information, making choices, and executing skills than is typical in teacher-led lessons. Moreover, when technology is used as a tool to support children in performing authentic tasks, the students are in a position of defining their goals, making design decisions, and evaluating their progress. Kids that don't necessarily shine can become stars. When a child who's usually withdrawn and shy shares their computer knowledge with the class, this can have a life-changing effect. When they present this new information, like playing music on their laptop, every kid wants to learn how to do that. And for that particular kid, it means the world because he really was not successful academically and was having lots of problems. This really changed him for that school year. Kids like the immediate results. It's not a result that you can get anywhere else except on the computer. For them, it really is a big deal. Technology is the ultimate carrot for students. It's something they want to master. Learning to use it enhances their self-esteem and makes them excited about coming to school. Technology is the ultimate carrot. Remember that. It's something they want to master. Learning to use it enhances their self-esteem and makes them excited about attending classes. I see more confidence in the kids. I think it's not just computers. It's a multitude of things. They can do things on the computers that most of their parents can't do. Imagine that. And that's very empowering and exciting for them. I can sit down and make this machine pretty much do what I want to. And there's something special about that that gives them an extra little boost of, wow, I'm a pretty special person. Teachers report students were able to handle more complex assignments and do more with higher order skills because of the supports and capabilities provided by technology. Let children use e-readers. E-readers can be adapted to each child's specific needs. If you have a child who needs larger font or less lines per page in order to improve their reading ability, e-readers are perfectly suited to this kind of tailoring. E-readers have opened the doors to getting the next generation back into reading. Easy access to an array of topics and stories is sure to spark an interest in even a reluctant reader. And increasing technology provides better tailored learning opportunities while increasing self-esteem and confidence. Children learn early literacy skills from good quality ebooks that include features that promote children's language and literacy skills, like a dictionary. These provide words that are highlighted when the narrator reads them. It has games and pictures that help explain the story. Children with developmental delays may benefit from ebooks. E-readers are adapted for children, especially children with learning disabilities, and can help level the playing field with children who learn differently. One study showed that after sharing an ebook, children with developmental delays experienced improvement in their vocabulary, as well as in their understanding about how words can be broken up into smaller parts. Children can read ebooks over and over again. Repeated reading of the same story improves children's literacy skills. Children can enjoy ebooks independently. This may encourage children to pick up a book more often than they otherwise would. E-books are convenient and accessible. They can be downloaded on computers or transferred to handheld devices. Children learn most from ebooks when adults share the ebook with them and talk about the story. Children learn less when they look at e-books by themselves. Enjoy the book in read-only mode first. You're going to be limiting the games and interactive features. They can be distractible. You can go back to them after the read-only mode the first time. Go beyond the story. It will deepen your child's understanding if you connect events in the story to things that have happened in your child's life. I wonder what would happen if Clifford came to the zoo with me, or I'm thinking that he wants to chase that cat. Just describe and explain what's going on in the story and relate it to your own lives. Number 7, let children choose what they read. Reading for pleasure is one of the best ways for a child to improve his or her performance at school. But teaching a child to love reading involves a lot more than simply handing them a book. Help your child pick books that are not too difficult. The aim is to give your child lots of successful reading experiences. Letting children have choices in their reading material goes a long way in raising lifelong readers. Kids who choose what they read, regardless of whether it's a novel, comic book, or a magazine, are more engaged with what they are reading and more likely to retain the information. Studies show it improves performance on standardized tests. What? That's right, standardized tests. Research conducted at the University of Maryland found that when kids are given limited choices from a collection of books, it helped improve their performance on standardized tests, particularly the reading comprehension sections. Giving kids a choice has been linked with scholastic achievement. Some researchers believe that when kids, especially boys, are free to choose what they want to read, when they choose what they want to read, they will read for pleasure. Reading for pleasure has been linked with scholastic achievement in school. Kids will want to read more when given a choice. The best way to get kids to read more is to help them find one book in a series that they love, and then they will want to continue to read each and every book in the series. Series books like Dr. Seuss or series books like Harry Potter. When kids choose what they want to read, They will become better writers. The more they read and write, the better they become at it. When kids choose what they want to read, they tend to want to write more too. Kids will read for pleasure and enjoy reading. They will be reading for pleasure, not because there is an assignment due. A choice allows kids to be enthusiastic about what they are reading, and in turn, they will be engaged. It allows parents to observe and see what kids are gravitating towards. And remember, always monitor what your kids are reading. Number 8, help choose age-appropriate books. Help your child choose age-appropriate books on topics that interest them to spark a passion for reading. You can take them to the library or even go online to the online library management system. You guys are experts now with the computers, so you can easily access these online systems. You can show them e-readers that provide entire libraries at the touch of the screen. Access to a wide variety of options helps make it easier for parents to help their children find the stories that give them that toehold into the world of reading. I use common sense media when making book lists. It usually has a detailed description of content so that you can judge for yourself. It's a great site for book reviews, giving the appropriate age range, a description of any questionable content, and a rating, so you know whether or not to waste your time picking up the book. Plus, they do the same thing for movies, websites, TV shows, music, and more. So remember, check out Common Sense Media. Determine your child's reading level. Sometimes finding an age-appropriate book is as easy as matching your child's age to the reading level printed on the back of a book. If your child is 10, for example, then you can look for books in that section. But before you rely on this method, remember that every child is different, and you can't always go by this system of using their age. Struggling readers fall below the normal reading level for their age or grade, while advanced readers may be several levels ahead. The easiest way for you or your child to decide if a book is at an appropriate level is to use the 3-step rule. Number 1, have your child randomly open a book that they're interested in to any page. Have them read that page. While reading, keep track of unfamiliar words. Proper nouns do not count as they are unfamiliar because the reader doesn't have to know how to say the word, just that it's a person or a place. Number 3, how many words were new or unfamiliar? If the page has 3 or more unfamiliar words, then the book is likely to be too difficult for your child to understand. So again, use the 3-step rule. And it seems to be 3 is the lucky number for the 3-step rule. Number 1, I'm going to review it quickly. Randomly have the child open a book and read. Number 2, while they're reading, keep track of unfamiliar words. Number 3, if they miss 3 words or more, it's too difficult. Number 9, make use of gadgets and apps. Your smartphone or tablets can be used to install useful reading apps where kids can have safe places for reading without parents worrying about what they might come across online. Let's review some free and inexpensive reading apps on the next few slides. Parents are able to choose what their children can access, as well as how long they can do different activities with timer features. And remember, most importantly, always monitor your child's activities online. Here are 5 free reading apps. Number 1, Hoopla. Book Riot has recommended this for downloading audiobooks straight from local libraries. It also has an extensive children's audiobook section, which will make for good bedtime reading or car listening. Number 2, Epic. Epic provides a plethora of children's books for all ages. The app asks for parents or teachers to create an account and allows for them to create 4 profiles for children readers. You do need to register an email and a password. The visuals and music contribute to a fun learning experience. Number 3, Sight Words. App Store reviews from parents have expressed satisfaction with this app game that encourages reading and makes it fun for kids. It's for ages 4 and up with detailed animation, background music, and great visuals. There are 6 games at the moment tailored by grade. Kids can create their own profile as either people or monsters. Number 4, Endless Reader. This is meant for younger readers, ages 4 and up, to teach them words by sight. It's designed to grab attention with fluid animation and epic music. Digital flashcards occupy the screen with fitting animation. Kids have to assemble the words or match them, while the game provides appropriate sound effects. It's suitable entertainment for young children and parents who may need a pick-me-up. Number 5, Reading Comprehension Prep. This app is for readers grades 3 to 5 and contains 12 stories, fiction and nonfiction. The stories cover a bit of history, adventure, and even creepy backgrounds. Reviewers have mentioned they enjoy sharing the tales with their children. Now, let's look at 5 reading apps for a fee. Number 1, Reading Comprehension, the paid version of the Peekaboo apps. There are versions for various reading levels, grades 2 through 8. The various bundles range from $7.99 to $9.99, and individual apps cost $1.99. These promise to educate children while provoking thought with their questions about the material. Number 2, Wonderful Interactive Storybooks. It provides games based on children's books. These are interactive adaptations on the iPad, iPhone, and Androids. Kindle, number 3, is a reliable standby. It can be downloaded on any computer, iPad, or iPhone. While the app is free, however, there may be additional costs in buying a Kindle or the content that you wish. It depends on whether the material, like Peter Pan, is in the public domain or not. Number 4, Audible. In line with Kindle, Audible has a large amount of audiobooks. The cloud server has ample children's audiobooks, which is perfect for commutes. The main trade-off with using Audible is that while the app is free, The books cost money and their price is linked to how much the text costs on Amazon. With that said, the sound quality is amazing, and an Audible subscription will provide 2 books a month. This is more suitable for older readers who have a long commute or waiting time. And number 5, Teach Me. This reading app comes from multiple grade levels, including preschool, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade. All 5 apps cost $7.99 as a bundle, and the individual ones are $1.99 if a parent wishes to buy them separately. Don't forget, your public library is a great source for free audiobooks for kids, especially new ones. Free children's audiobooks, especially classics, in other words, older books that are in the public domain and not subject to copyright, can also be found on the many websites that offer free audiobooks. If you're still craving more after this list, be sure to check out fellow writer Molly's list of 100 family-friendly audiobooks. Number 10, show interest in your child's reading. Your response or feedback has a strong effect on how hard they will try to become good readers. Always remember to give them genuine praise for their efforts. Reading for pleasure seems to give kids an advantage in school because they are used to being introduced to new ideas and can process them more quickly and effectively than their non-reading peers. A child's interest in literacy can tell us a lot about that child's behavior, said Jennifer Dobbs Oates, an assistant professor of developmental studies at Purdue University. We found that the child who is interested in literacy-related activities is more likely to show positive, adaptive behavior than negative, disruptive kinds of behavior. Feedback can be as simple as gestures like a thumbs up or a high five. Phrases like good job, good trying are helpful while you look at them directly as you say these phrases. And that's our 10 ways of getting kids interested in reading. I'm going to go through some reading tips, and there's going to be a link provided for you to be able to get more reading tips. So I'm just going to go through a few right now. Children love to hear stories about their family. Talk about a funny thing that happened when you were young. Fill a box with drawing and writing materials. Find opportunities for your child to write, such as a shopping list, thank you notes, or birthday cards. Ask your child to read aloud what he or she has written for school. Be an enthusiastic listener. When your child has sounded out an unfamiliar word, have them reread that sentence. Often kids are so busy figuring out the word, they lose the meaning of what they've just read. So that's just 4 tips of probably about 8 more slides of tips. So if you need more reading tips, we're going to give you the link for that. Remember, singing is reading too. Dr. Tim Rasinski believes that singing affects fluency. And a growing body of research and scholarly thought suggests that singing has potential for improving reading. Songs lend themselves to repeated reading, and that's a research-tested method for developing reading fluency. Tim Rasinski is the leading authority on reading fluency. The most important song that you can teach your child is the alphabet song. We all know that if children don't know their alphabets to mastery by 3rd grade, they will struggle with reading. Did you ever wonder how kids can remember all those words to a song or rap is because they love singing or rapping, and it's fun for them. Many teens love rap music or spoken word poetry with a strong beat. And if you're worried about content, look to recordings such as the Hamilton cast album for inspiration. If you have a child or a student with reading problems or dyslexia, you may be surprised to know that using songs and music can help. Many songs, notably children's songs, using rhyming words or patterns. Recognizing rhyme requires auditory discrimination, a skill that children with dyslexia often need help in developing. We start with nursery rhymes and sing lullabies, which can significantly improve babies' ability to build vocabulary and can boost their brain development. It also helps phonological awareness, which is one of the leading indicators of future reading ability. In fact, talking, reading, and singing in daily routines builds children's vocabularies, and a large vocabulary is a key predictor of later reading success. Songs are wonderful memory tools, and that is why almost every commercial has some music in the background or a jingle. We remember things better when we associate something with music. Musically trained children also have better reading comprehension skills. Singing songs and the repetition of songs appears to support strengthening interhemispheric connections in the brain. This exercises sequencing and auditory memory. Additionally, learning songs help support recall and develop short-term memory, with children using the tune as natural scaffolding. Making the learning process both fun and memorable is key to nurturing excellent readers. There are many music categories that you can explore, and with YouTube, you'll be able to learn them quickly. You could also download them and add them to your devices. During the holidays, we sing Christmas and Hanukkah songs. Every child knows a song for birthdays because they sing it every year. We also should think about developing literacy through play. Research reports reflect the relationships between play and literacy. Conclusions of these studies are, number one, children learn more complex knowledge through play. Number two, play encourages literacy development by facilitating children's knowledge of how sounds and symbols work as they communicate in the play setting. Number three, children who engage in sociodramatic play use language to develop scripts, thus merging reading and writing into play. Number four, children can develop literacy skills by engaging in a play. The benefits of play in language development include developing oral language, complex cognitive abilities, reading and writing skills, challenges, experimentation, approximations, and negotiations. In play, children use oral language to communicate. This will develop literacy learning, which in turn develops reading and writing. When engaged in play, children will face challenges and experiment freely to solve problems. They'll begin to use approximations, getting closer to solving issues. They'll eventually learn to negotiate, using discussions to overcome obstacles. Social interaction while playing provides learning activities to develop literacy. We need to provide a safe environment to encourage this and engage in play with our children. This will better prepare children when they transition into the school environment to handle themselves. Self-expression and confidence is the most important traits children need to succeed. Here are some additional great ways to teach words in a fun way through play using word games. You need to build a routine with your children to have game night once a week or even more. Remember, make it fun. Don't be too competitive. Here are some additional resources that you can use. This summer, the New York City Department of Education is providing access to summer reading and learning resources for all New York City students. Sora is a user-friendly e-reader app that allows K through 12 students to access ebooks and digital audiobooks. This summer, students will have access to a collection of engaging titles through Sora. Readers can discover grade-level ebooks and digital audiobooks in a variety of languages and grade levels simply by logging on to their DOE student account. The Sora app is available on DOE-issued iPads and can also be downloaded to any internet-enabled device or by visiting Sora's website. Review the instructions at Add Link to get started with Sora. The New York City School Library System has curated a collection of K-12 fiction and nonfiction ebooks. Visit galepages.com to view the complete collection. To access the ebooks, please email libraries@schools.nyc.gov to receive a password. BrainFuse. This is an online tutoring platform for students and families that provides homework help and skills building support to all grade levels in subject areas such as math, science, reading, and writing from English and Spanish speaking tutors. BrainFuse is available 7 days a week with live tutoring, available from 2 to 11 p.m. through all public library systems, and a public library card is required. The Brooklyn Public Library is offering several virtual programming opportunities through its events calendar, as well as its online educational resources, some of which require a library card to access. To obtain a Brooklyn Public Library e-card, we will give you a link to fill out the form. The New York Public Library, serving the Bronx, Manhattan, and Staten Island, is offering virtual programming opportunities for students and families through its event calendar and virtual summer camp activities on its website, as well as its online educational resources, some of which require a library card to access. To obtain a New York Public Library card through the free e-reader app, Simply E, please visit nypl.org. The Queens Public Library is offering several virtual programming opportunities for students and families through its events calendar, as well as on its online educational resources, some of which require a library card to access. To obtain a Queens Public Library card, we'll give you a link to fill out the form. Considerations for technology. My favorite, Google Translator. I use it all the time. So this is so simple to use. We're going to give you these links in the chat for these different translation apps. I use Google Translator all the time. You'll love it. It's so simple to use. And you can do it in so many different languages. So you can either put the English word and it'll give you the translated word, or you could put the word in your language and it'll give you the English words translated. Simple to use, easy as 1, 2, 3. You could visit Nearpod and Peer Deck sites for other ways to engage learners. They will have parents' links inside them, and you can work with the translator section of it. So thank you, everybody, for participating in today's presentation on reading strategies. I hope that you found some helpful ideas that you can use with your children. The most important thing is to have fun. Learning should be fun, especially at home. Be well, and thank you for your enormous contribution to remote learning.
Thank you so much, Mary, for sharing information with our families. I want to, I'm hearing a little bit of an echo on myself. Sorry, folks. I want to go to Holly and Peter, who have been monitoring the Q&A, and while I pull together some of the links to that Mary has been talking about and share them in the chat. Peter, Holly, any standout questions that you want to go over before while I put some links into the chat for folks?
Well, this is Holly. I just wanted to say that the families seem to have been engaged so much. There's not questions here. They were just really appreciative of the different resources and very interested in finding out about those 5 free resources. So I promised them that we would be putting that in the chat or providing it to them in the near future. But they're very appreciative of what Mary shared. So that was my consensus of the feedback that I got.
Yeah, I think that's a great a great point. We will in a moment while I pull them up go over the 5 free resources, because I think you're right, Holly. Folks need to be able to see it. So I'm dropping all of the links that I can in the chat now, and I'm going to share my screen with you all. And so let's see. All right. All right. So, Mary, what I have up on my screen now is Hoopla. And I know that you mentioned Hoopla was one of the sources for audiobooks.
Yes. Let me go over that quickly. Yes, so this is a, it's recommended for downloading audiobooks, and it's straight from the public libraries. So it has an extensive, as you can see, an extensive audiobook section.
Yep. And it's compatible with so many different things. So if you have an iPhone, an Android, Fire Stick, Amazon, Chromecast, it's compatible across so many different things. For the link for this, I'm dropping in the chat for you all now. And then go ahead, Mary.
I think the next one was Epic. Is that?
That would be here.
Okay. So this one provides a plethora of children's books for all ages. And all you need to do, parents, is to create an account, and allows you to create 4 profiles for your children. You have to just give them an email and a password. The visuals and music contribute to a fun learning experience for your kids.
And so here are some examples of some great graphics that go along with some of these stories. So it'll be really engaging for all of your children. And so the next 3 are some apps that you can download.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first app is
SightWords.
SightWords.
Okay, so this is, parents love this app, and it encourages reading and makes it fun for kids. It's for ages 4 and up, with detailed animation, background music, and great visuals. There are 6 games at the moment, tailored by grade. Kids can create their own profile as either people or monsters.
The next one we have is Endless Reader.
Endless Reader is meant for younger readers, ages 4 and up, to teach them words by sight. It's designed to grab attention with fluid animation and epic music. Digital flashcards occupy the screen with fitting animation. Kids have to assemble the words or match them, while the game provides appropriate sound effects. It's suitable entertainment for young children and parents who may need a pick-me-up.
And then our last free app is Reading Prep Comprehension.
Reading Prep Compass. This is an app for readers grades 3 through 5 and contains 12 stories, fiction and nonfiction. The stories cover a bit of history, adventure, and even creepy backgrounds. Reviewers have mentioned they enjoy sharing the tales with their children.
Thank you, Mary, for walking us through these free apps. And also, folks, as Mary mentioned in the presentation, there are a whole host of other reading resources that are available to kids through their DOE account. So
There was just one question.
Sure, Peter, take it away.
Can we repeat the library resources that goes on from afternoon through the evening?
Yeah.
Library, okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with, yeah, if you could go, yeah. Okay, so let me start with Sora.
All right, we'll start with Sora.
Hold on 1 minute.
And so Sora, it looks like, is one of the services that you will need to sign in through a DOE account.
Yeah, Sora is a user-friendly e-reader app that allows K through 12 students access to ebooks and digital audiobooks. This summer, students will have access to a collection of engaging titles through Sora. Readers can discover grade-level ebooks and digital audiobooks in a variety of languages and grade levels simply by logging into their DOE student account. The Sora app is available on DOE-issued iPads and can also be downloaded to any internet-enabled device or by visiting Sora's website. The New York City school library system has curated a collection of K through 12 fiction and nonfiction ebooks. Visit galepages.com to view the complete collection. To access the ebooks, please email libraries@schools.nyc.gov to receive a password.
Thank you so much, Mary. And thank you so much for the instruction team from the Special Education Office for joining us. Peter, Holly, always a dream to have you on these sessions. We are running close to our time, and there are a couple of resources that I want to share with all of you. Many of you have been asking, what is going on? When will I be able to see these sessions again? And so we do have to run through these decks and work with our translation and interpretation office to make sure that these decks are available and translated in the 10 DOE languages. But in the meantime, we have been able to make available, let's see if I can share my screen, the first 5 Beyond Access sessions on YouTube. So I'm going to be dropping this link, and you'll be getting an email with the link as well. So you don't have to worry about copying it down. But I did want to preview it with all of you who are in here today. We have the first 5 sessions on here that we went through from July 1st through 5th, and we're going to be adding them here as we go along. And when the decks are available, the PowerPoints are available for download, we will send you all an email as well with the link to the DOE website with those presentations. For now, if you are a person who needs to access these presentations in another language, or you need captions to be able to access it, all of these have automated captions available, and there is auto-generated translations. The directions for how to access those translations are in the description of each video. So I will say I will ask for all of your apologies, because whenever you click the video, you'll see a couple of seconds of me trying to figure out what's going on. So you'll see me counting down or just being very quiet. Bear with it, give it a couple of seconds, and then we'll go straight into it, and you'll see my smile. But we're very, very, very excited that we can move forward with this piece of the Beyond Access series, and we're continuing to work on getting those decks translated for all of you. So these 5 presentations, they are available on YouTube for you all now. You can use the link that I've just put in the chat, or you can use the link that I will be emailing to you all at the end of the week. And we're going to be adding more to this on a rolling basis. So.
Jose, there's a question, if I can answer it.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. For children who have difficulty deciding who may be dyslexic, what do you recommend? I would recommend that the child sees a doctor and have a medical checkup, find out if they may have dyslexia, because in many cases, teachers in schools don't have the knowledge to be able to decide whether that child has dyslexia. Usually we start with a medical. Okay, I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, thank you, Mary. And I think the overarching point with this is to always be working with your child's school, and to be able to, if you think that your child needs supports, whatever those supports may be, the starting point is to talk with your teachers and your schools, and then work from there. And we can work together on figuring out what evaluations are needed and how to best support your child, so that they can get the most out of their educational experience. And if you ever have any questions or don't know where to start the process, you can always feel free to reach out to the Special Education Office at specialeducation@schools.nyc.gov. So thank you all again for tuning in for another week. You look out for an email for the registration link for our next session. And until then, stay safe, everyone.
Good night, everybody.